What's up, camera nerds? My name is Cooper Daytove and I'm a freelance DP and photographer based right here in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a longtime Sony shooter, so I was super excited when Adorama hit me up to test out Sony's all-new full-frame PZ16-35 f4 power zoom. To put this bad boy through its paces, I decided to hit the skate park to see how the PZ16-35 handled the gimbal workflow. A gimbal felt like the perfect way to test this lens out for a number of reasons. The first of which is balance. Balancing a gimbal is a game of millimeters. Move the camera ever so slightly and the entire balance will be thrown off. Many zoom lenses physically telescope in and out when zooming, and just this tiny shift in weight can cause undue stress to the gimbal motors and ruin them over time. With this lens though, all the movement happens inside the lens body, so your camera stays perfectly balanced no matter what focal length you're at. Another factor that makes it a great gimbal lens is the power zoom. The PZ16-35 electric zoom function is powered by 4 completely silent linear XD motors. Traditional zoom rings found on normal lenses are less than ideal when working with a gimbal. Constantly twisting the lens back and forth adds a considerable amount of torque to the motors and will wear them out over time. Fortunately, Sony has included several different options for controlling the PZ16-35's power zoom. Like a normal unpowered lens, you'll find a traditional zoom ring on the body of the lens. Since this is electronically and not physically controlling the lens, you can change the zoom direction and the zoom speed in the custom functions in the camera. For gimbal operation, I prefer to use the side-mounted rocker switch as it's easy to reach and doesn't put any extra torque on the motors. Should you be operating the camera remotely, you can control zoom wirelessly using the remote or the Sony smartphone app. Speaking of zoom, sometimes 35mm isn't quite enough. But instead of swapping lenses right away and having to rebalance everything, this lens's side-mounted assignable button gives you another option. Anytime a lens has an assignable button like this one does, I map it to toggle APS-C mode. This punches in on the full-frame sensor and effectively bumps your focal length to around 56mm while still giving you full 4K output. On top of the assignable button, there's a manual focus switch, an aperture declick switch, and an iris lock to further customize your shooting experience. What I think really makes this a great gimbal lens though is its size. Unlike most power zooms, this thing is tiny. In fact, at just 12.4 ounces, it's actually the lightest f4 wide-angle mirrorless zoom available today. This makes a huge difference after a long day of gimbal shooting, and I promise you, your arms will thank you for it. While I don't always use autofocus when I'm shooting on a gimbal, it can be super helpful when shooting fast-moving subjects like this. The PZ16-35 handled autofocus flawlessly thanks to its 2 completely silent XD linear focus motors. These motors are so fast that when shooting on Sony's A1 body, it can accurately maintain focus even while shooting 30 still images a second. As you've made it this far in the video, you already know that this lens is optically beautiful. The PZ16-35 is built with 13 elements and 12 groups and is truly sharper than a Ginsu knife. Not only is it sharp, but Sony has done a ton of work to suppress focus breathing. It'll even hold focus while zooming. It makes it great for trick shots like dolly zooms. Sony really nailed it with this lens. Between its compact form factor, power zoom, and razor sharp optics, they've created a lens capable of tackling nearly anything you can throw at it. Thanks again for Adorama for sending me this, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of their awesome content. Thanks and have a good one.